in a lot of ways as a materials space and also as like a messy room. So, and I'll just say in my history, in 3rd grade, part of the curriculum that comes at the end of the year is a squid dissection, which is a big part of 3rd grade. The kids get so excited. There's also paper making across different grades. These are like messy, stinky, stuff-laden projects that when we used to do them in our classrooms, Barbara, our science coordinator, and the classroom teachers would be like gathering all the materials, putting them on a cart, shuttling them from room to room to room, and then the entire 3rd floor would have this like essence of squid for a little while. Having this space allows our amazing science and sustainability team to set up those activities and have each class come and visit to experience them. And it also allows it to happen in small groups, which is really cool. So sometimes you'll have 2 science stations set up in a classroom and a 3rd station here, and the groups will rotate through, and you'll have the messiest one happening in this room. It also serves as an inspiration space in a lot of ways. In our early childhood classrooms, you'll often hear teachers talk about the Reggio Emilia approach, which is all about bringing interesting and provocative materials to kids that brings out their curiosity and makes them want to figure stuff out. And often when kids are building projects or creating models and sculptures, they'll come into this space where natural materials have been gathered, and they will see things, and their mind will start working, and then they'll suddenly have assembled a model of an ant that shows all the different parts of its anatomy. Like, those projects can be inspired or provoked by the materials that are available. So this is one of, I'd say, 3 or 4 green spaces in our school. We also have in our big yard, there's an outdoor classroom that we're going to visit called the Eco Casita that was put together between the 2010 and 2011 school year. And at that time, this room was called Matt's room, at least in the SLT minutes from that year. Matt Sheehan was a teacher. What grade?
Matt Sheehan was a 4th grade teacher in our school, and he had a strong belief, and actually we really owe a lot to Matt, because he pushed us to really increase the amount of work we did around sustainability, to making that a focus of our curriculum because of what's happening in the world. And so we went from curriculum that was, well, we still do a lot of a hands-on project-based curriculum about big ideas like Africa in 3rd grade or Native Americans in 4th grade, but realizing that this understanding of being responsible for your planet needed to start in pre-K and work its way up through the grades. And Matt really pushed us. Today he is the person behind a farm that I think one of the classes is going to today. Bill and Janet's class is going to Edgemere Farm, which is way out in the Rockaways, and that is his dream and vision. So he left us to start the farm, but he got us going with the farm that we have outside and the Eco Casita.
So Johanna is our resident farmer, our sustainability coordinator, the amazing mind behind Green Recess in partnership with Barbara. And about 5 years ago, she piloted something called Green Recess with, at that point, I think our kindergarten. Started with our kindergarten. Then the following year, it expanded to pre-K. And the following year, we had pre-K K1. So this would be year 3 of having Green Recess for pre-K, K, and 1st grade classes. And Green Recess is an outdoor choice time for our youngest kids where they get to select a station where they're going to work. They use these amazing hollow blocks that you'll see if they're in a building station to create these big, full-bodied sort of sculptures with these huge blocks where they create ramps. Those are actually hollow blocks that our friend is using. The ones that are outdoor are a little more weatherproof, and they have like pieces that interlock to hold the sculptures together. Kids do what's called green laundry, so there's lots of fabrics outside in the yard that the kids use. They tie them onto the fences and they create tarps and forts and tents and sculptures, and then they got kind of yucky from being outside, and the kids will scrub them and dunk them and wash them and use the water buckets to get the fabrics clean and then hang them on the fence to dry. Kids will use tubes and golf balls to create sort of like giant Rube Goldberg machines. Like one thing causes another, so they'll connect these chains and sort of watch their sculptures come to life. And then of course there's the mud kitchen, which is a very popular part of Green Recess. they're low to the ground planters that are, plants are not growing in them intentionally. Sometimes things pop up and grow and become part of the mud kitchen, but the idea is that they are digging boxes for kids to just get into the mud, and then they take all these different tools that are available and they turn it into a restaurant. It's just an imagination space for kids. So that's one choice in Green Recess. And it's just taken off. I mean, we have 2nd and 3rd grade teachers who are like, can we get our classes into Green Recess? It's really just completely taken root in our school. And then our 1st graders, in addition, have farming time. So they have a time when they are outside planting seeds. They'll have seeds growing in the building during the winter in greenhouses, and then they'll transplant in the spring. They will harvest. There's herbs and vegetables and fruits and all sorts of amazing stuff growing outside. And that's all thanks to our 6 and 7-year-olds and Johanna. So I think...
Did you leave out the butterflies?
Oh, I did. Go for it.
Yeah. No, just that one of the sites where butterflies like to congregate, there's actually a sign, and we've been having a great season, so we've been watching a lot of butterflies come out of the chrysalis, so it's been very, very exciting. So that's something else that's happening right here.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question. So it's Barbara and Johanna who are the science and sustainability. Do they push into the classrooms like every week or just sometimes? How does that work?
So Johanna co-teaches, co-facilitates Green Recess once a week for pre-K, K1, and then she does farming as an additional period with 1st grade. So they see her once for Green Recess, once for farming. And she schedules times with the other grades, but it's not, meaning 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, it's not as consistent as that, like locked in early childhood work. Barbara this year is actually transitioning from a co-teaching model to like a step back and support model. So in past years, Barbara had a science time with every class where she would push in and co-teach with the teachers. And we were talking yesterday, she was reflecting that the biggest change she's seen so far, and it's only been a month of school, and like day-wise, not even, she said science has doubled. So she's able to prepare materials and plan with teachers and support between rooms such that science is now happening more often because it's not so dependent on her being able to physically co-teach. But for new members of our staff who are learning the lessons for the first time that Barbara's curated over the years, she's still co-teaching those periods, but it's happening, and it's sort of like the essence of Barbara throughout.
Okay. And after the winter, this is gonna be like destroyed, and then the kids' job is to refurbish it. They clean it out, take everything out, and put new materials in there. These are our bees here. How is it going? No idea there were bees here too. This is compost. Rainwater, and these activities are happening today. They can stay when we do Green Recess for pre-K, we usually take out the worms because they go to the forest. They look at the forest floor, so we take out the worms. We take out all that good stuff. 1st graders compost. This is all our food scraps from the cafeteria, and these are our bees. Oh, which we should take them out soon. So these are native bees. We don't get honey from them, but they're amazing pollinators. And they're leaf cutter bees. So we have all this little nest in here. The kids in the spring, they will open the rods, harvest them, take them out, and put them back here. They will hatch, and we will have a whole bunch of bees around again. There it is. Look how beautiful this is. Oh, wow.
Those are all the babies?
Those are all the babies.
Oh, wow.
So crazy.
Oh, wow.
And those are eggs?
These are.
And that's the
Each
one, I guess,
one
that
on
lady,
that.
because that's the big one?
No,
No?
it dies,
Oh.
yeah.
After they lay? Oh,
Like
right.
2-3 weeks, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But the kids learn that to be conscious about what to plant in the spring. That's how farmers make sure they have food for the next season. They eat the young sheep and eat the livestock. They're like, I want to make sure I have those beans next season. They're dry their seeds and they're safe though for the next season. And when they plant them, they will have beans. That makes sense to you guys? So this is your... They do. So Jennifer, as we work, if we want to have a little snack and treat, we can go to the feeding plant, harvest, and eat. But these are your jobs for today. You wanted the chickens? Sure. We're gonna do chickens? Second job. Some compost work. Excuse me. You might want to hear the next job because you might want to do it. Are you ready for the next job? Compost. I will take some kids to the compost area, Jennifer, and do some processing. And then, your job, another job, you have to look around the garden today. And look for seeds that are dry, that are ready to pick so we can save them. We can dry them, we can save them, put them in packets, and then we can plant next spring. Does that make sense? I need about 5 kids in the compost area today, Jennifer. Sure. Just one. Let's go. Here, let's put all of them here. Chop, chop, chop.
That's a healthy worm.
We put it with some leaves so it could eat.
Oh, that was really thoughtful of you guys. What are you making? What did you find?
A worm here.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah, it's a little one. It's like a baby worm, I would say. Do you think it's a baby or a grown-up?
Okay, great.
They don't turn into blood and they're beautiful like that.
What are you making?
Quality of water study.